go. Play your part, oh, don't be slow. 80 vegana must grow, must grow. Let's go. Agric is the way to go. Play your part, oh, don't be slow. 80 vegana must grow. Let's go. Produce it, process it, distribute it. I go make the dough just to feed my own. I go do it all.
Season is upon us. Yes, St. Valentine's is about to shoot his arrows into the hearts of lovers worldwide, including Ghana, where Valentine's Day is widely celebrated. Now you would ask, what do Valentine's Day and agribusiness have in common? Flowers for one, horticulture. Lots of people across the world send flowers to their loved ones during Valentine's Day. And on Ghana Grows Edwuma today, I'm catching up with a female-led company dealing in the business of flowers, Jandel. As always, Ghana Grows Edwuma is brought to you by the Mastercard Foundation in partnership with the Springboard Road Show Foundation. I'm your host, Araba Kumson. Shortly, we'll be meeting up with the Chief Operating Officer of Jandel. But before that, here's what I asked some people on the streets of Accra about their Valentine's Day's gifts. Listen.
I'll definitely give flowers to my girlfriend.
I prefer to send flowers to chocolates, but it's a way of showing love to our loved ones.
Chocolate or flowers? Let's do flowers.
Oh my goodness, I prefer flowers to chocolates. I love flowers because of the beauty.
So I would like flowers because it shows appreciation and I love them. And I can also take pictures with them, so I'll stick with flowers.
Those are some interesting thoughts. What do you think? Let's go and meet the Chief Operating Officer of Jandel. Hey, Jeanette. Good to see you. How are you?
Good. And I see your Valentine ready.
I'm already in the mood, you know. It's a season of love. Once again, welcome to Ghana Grows Edwuma. I'm your host, Araba Kumson, and you don't want to miss today's discussion. It's going to be all sorts of interesting. I'm here with Chief Operating Officer of Jandel, Jeanette Dia. Jeanette, thanks for having us.
Thanks for having me.
All right, we're going to be talking flowers and more because we're in the Valentine season. Valentine is upon us, so obviously I'm sure that your office is going to be quite busy with requests for flowers and the like.
Yes.
What is the mood around this time of the year?
So it's absolutely exciting because February is a month of love. So you start feeling the vibe right from the beginning of the month. You know, it's also extremely stressful for us as well, you know, because we process hundreds of orders for Valentine's Day. It's quite.
How has the celebration of Valentine changed, say, from the last 15 years or so?
Yes. So as far as I can remember, that's about 10 years ago, you know, people weren't as big on Valentine as now.
That's true.
You know, it's only for a few discerning people, you know, that would appreciate the whole theme of Valentine's Day. But today, almost everybody loves to be appreciated.
We know that horticulture is a major part of the agric space, and young people are being encouraged to go into the agric space.
Yes.
And this is one of the things that they overlook, but it can be profitable, as we see here. So, I mean, you say it's a big production, right? It's a huge production.
It is, yeah.
By that, you mean that you import the flowers, or do you grow the flowers yourself? How does it all work out? Where do you get it from?
Yes, so I'll say 50-50, okay? We import some flowers, but then we also use some locally grown flowers as well. But that, in my opinion, is very commendable today because 4 years back, we imported every single flower that we use for Valentine's Day. But recently, we have local growers who are growing beautiful flowers, roses, gerbers, you know, flowers that ordinarily you would not find here or that are difficult to grow in this climate, you know, are being grown here. So we love to encourage them, you know. So we always give them like substantial business and then import a few as well to mix.
So what would you say to young people who might not have ordinarily even thought about the idea of going into horticulture? Is this something that is profitable for them to go into?
So absolutely, I'll definitely encourage young people to take this up because first of all, it's profitable. And we are now in the era of eating what we grow and growing what we eat, you know. So, I mean, if we had enough flowers being grown here, there will be no need for us to import any.
So you've been in this space for 20 years, more than 20 years actually, Jandel. Yes, that is a lot. So how do you maintain your position as a leader in this creative industry?
So number one, I'll say training. It's absolutely important to keep reinventing yourself as a business, especially as an older business, you know, because it's easy to be overshadowed or swallowed by the newer business or competitors, you know. So we work twice as hard to stay relevant, to make sure that people are not saying, oh, Jandel, because you're 28 years, you are not in tune with the trends, you know. So we work as much as possible. We work twice as hard to make sure that we are still seen as relevant and we are still in tune with the modern trends and whatever is going on.
Clearly it's working for you because you're maintaining some form of standard, which is quality that people always look out for.
Right, right. Thank you so much. For us, it's the human resource is extremely important because our business evolves around creative minds.
Right.
Okay, so it's important that we are all driven along the same lines. And I want to give special shout outs to my team because they are fantastic. They are all passionate about what they do, so it makes the work easier.
You're nothing without your team.
Absolutely.
But I'm curious to know, how did you guys survive during the COVID period? Because a lot of businesses were down at that time.
Yes.
Especially event organizers.
So that was a very low moment for us as a business. But as resilient as we are, we had to think around what was relevant at the time. So I remember learning how to make sanitizers and disinfecting products. We generally had to think outside the box to meet the current demand of, you know, of the people. So we're producing sanitizers here.
Oh, wow.
Yes, absolutely. And we were packaging sanitizers, nose masks, and certain kits we termed as the care kits, and we're distributing to corporate institutions.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that's how really we survived and were able
relevant.
to, yes, and to pay our salaries and, you know, still keep up during that difficult time.
That's interesting. That must be one of the things that, you know, sets you apart from those in the space that you're in. But you tell me yourself, what makes you stand out from others in your space for people to say, yes, indeed, Jandel is the leader in this creative space?
So people know us for the quality of our work and how consistent we've been in the industry. And I'll also say that we are a very versatile company. We work with a myriad of budgets that are given to us to still produce excellent work.
Speaking about your work, I mean, tell us, what is the most memorable project that you've executed so far in your 20 or so years?
So I would say Light Up the City, which is our newest offering at Jandel. We decorate principal streets in Accra and beyond during the festive season. But they are sponsored, obviously sponsored by corporate institutions for us to be able to
How did you
get
come
this
up
done.
with that idea?
Yes, so This initiative was birthed in 2019, and we were inspired by how Christmas was celebrated all over the world. You know, you go to Milan, Oxford streets, and all over the world, Christmas is celebrated with like a vivid display of lights, you know, and it affects the mood of the citizens and the populace, you know. So we were inspired to replicate that here because there was absolutely nothing going on in the streets of Accra, you know, during that time.
Let's talk about a major challenge that you've been confronted with in your event organizing journey. I know that it's a lot of ups, but there can be some downs as well, because we're being real. Tell us one of such, you know, incidents.
So one thing that stands out in my mind is an event, 60th birthday party I organized in 2019. And 3 days to the event, the property manager for the venue got in touch with us to say that there was a flood which had ruined their property. Yes, which had caused havoc. And so we had 72 hours. 72 to turn things around, to plan, to get in touch with our guests. First of all, to find a venue, let me say, to find a venue, get in touch with the guests, to change the venue, you know, redesign the whole event to suit the new venue. And, you know, in the end, I must say that it even worked out better than it would have in the initial venue.
Wow, you did all of this under 72 hours.
Under 72 hours, yeah.
Wow, you had to meet that, and which is what you're, you know, respected for. That once you give your word, you will make sure that it will happen. And the quality is the standard.
Yeah.
Kudos to you.
Thank you.
So I was walking through your offices to come and sit here. I noticed a lot of certificates and awards on your walls. You've done a lot of work over the past 20 or so years. Tell us about some of the awards that you have won over the years.
So we've received over 70 awards.
Over 70?
Yes, both internationally and locally. Amongst which I can recall the GA, with 2 years in a row, we've received the GIC, Ghana Events Industry Conference. Best Corporate Event Planner, we've received that 2 years in a row. Amongst so many others, I cannot recall all, but all under the able leadership of Auntie Afi, our CEO, my mother. You know, she has really paid her dues in this industry.
Definitely.
And they are very, very big shoes for me to fill.
Definitely.
You know, every time I go to bed, I can't sleep because, you know, my aim is to live up to expectation and to make sure that the business grows beyond even what she has started. So this is what drives me and keeps me going.
Jandel is definitely a colossus in this industry. And of course, like you said, the best is yet to come.
Yeah.
And since we're in the Valentine season, let me just ask, because a lot of people are buying either chocolates or flowers for their loved ones. But what's your personal preference, chocolates or flowers?
Flowers.
Are you sure that you don't prefer chocolates over flowers?
No, flower any day. I'm a flower girl.
Why?
Any day. For me, nothing screams love and appreciation more than flowers.
But you see flowers all the time. You work with it all the time.
I do, but it's still my love language.
Is it?
Yes.
More than 20 years in the business of curating luxury experiences, horticulture and floral decorations. Jandel is definitely a name that stands out. You can't miss it. Thank you for joining us once again. This has been Ghana Grows Edwuma with me, Arva Kumsin. As always, it is brought to you by Mastercard Foundation in partnership with Springboard Road Show Foundation. Until next week, it's Happy Valentine's.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Like a